Breaking right now, the U.S. Treasury reportedly saying it was hacked by a Chinese state-sponsored actor. It's being called a, quote, major incident. The AFP reporting that the cyber attack happened earlier this month. Treasury workstations and unclassified documents were reportedly accessed remotely.
Jim, that we did discuss with the Treasury Secretary yesterday.
Right. And I think that it's a lesson that I'm not even sure anybody knows what necessarily meant. No, it's almost impossible to deny or say that nobody has something. And I think, David, you followed all of these issues very closely, and you know that people don't really know what's been compromised.
Yeah, the problem is they don't know. And
they don't know.
Yeah, and the Russians are still in there. Now, Secretary Mnuchin did talk about the classified versus unclassified networks. Take a listen.
I will say the good news is there's been no damage, nor have we seen any large amounts of information displaced. I think, as you know, in this day and age where everything is connected, the issue of cybersecurity is very, very important, and this is something that we will continue to be focused on. But we are working with the National Security Council, we're working with the intel agencies, and I can assure you we are completely on top of it.
Institutional growth, and obviously the announcement from Ripple that it's launching its own stablecoin on Tuesday. How has that part of the crypto industry matured in 2024?
I would say not a lot has happened with stablecoins in the last year, which is not to say that's bad. Stablecoins are remarkably helpful in trading of virtually all cryptocurrencies. At least 60, maybe 70% of all trading pairs between different cryptos are between a stablecoin and Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, whatever that is. So stablecoins are the way people trade, and they are considered a safe harbor when there's volatility in the market and a trader wants to get out of that volatility. They park their money in stablecoins. What we have not seen, I would say, very much is stablecoins being used by the broader set of consumers for things like buying online, online shopping, paying, even peer-to-peer. We haven't really seen that. And there's a whole bunch of reasons probably why. But in terms of what stablecoins do well and their primary purpose thus far in aiding the buying and selling of other cryptos, they do a great job. How the eventual sovereign issued stablecoins will coexist with privately issued stablecoins. I would like more meat on the bone there. Ideally, we should allow both, right? We should, the sovereigns of the world can issue their stablecoins, and those have certain purposes, and private issuers can issue theirs. I would like to see that, and I think part of the issue here is that there is no one in Congress and almost no one in American business who really understands the potential for stablecoins. And so when you're designing a regulatory framework for something like that, you don't really understand how impactful it can be. That legislation is going to be lacking in some areas. And of course, anything that can be sent digitally has less friction to go cross-border. And as I keep saying, this is where stablecoins really shine because you avoid the necessity to convert currencies. This is where stablecoins have the biggest benefit to consumers and businesses. There's maybe $1 trillion of currency conversion costs in this $100 trillion global economy every year. And if we could keep coins in their native form and allow people to not have to convert to a particular sovereign currency wherever they're located, you would save all those conversion costs. I think that's part of the reason why there's been resistance on the part of the entrenched financial institutions, because this is a nice profit center, and it's actually an invisible tax. It's an invisible tax on commerce because no one really thinks about, well, if I buy a pair of Adidas sneakers from a German company, I'm in the US, what the currency conversion was, because they'll just price it in dollars, but probably at an FX rate that's very favorable to whatever institution is enabling that transaction.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher, and you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have the U.S. Treasury said it was hacked by Chinese hackers earlier this month. And what do I tell you guys? The big one is definitely coming. And don't forget, when Steve Mnuchin was in and Trump was in office, they said that the Treasury was hacked by Russia. So again, the big one is coming. Remember, your life is an illusion and TV is your reality. And I suggest you get yourselves prepared. Stay in the lab because the big one is definitely coming. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. Now we have William Quigley, the Tether co-founder, says that stablecoins are not being used in the real economy. But we know that's about to change real quick. Now that MiCA has regulation, well, the United States is about to have regulation, and it's going to be so easy for them to implement these stablecoins. And we know the reason why they're taking so long is because when they bring it to the masses, they want it to be just one click. Remember, they already have the technology where they can attach your digital wallet to your bank account just with one click. They just want everything seamless so the sheep would never, ever know they're using crypto, and they're not going to take the time to learn the technology. The same way we have the current system. If people understood how the system worked, they wouldn't fall for the tricks. But these stable coins are going to be programmable. Giving the central banks even more power, they'll be able to tell you what, when, and how to buy. And you have 3 to 6 months to spend them or poof, is gone. And then on top of it, they'll be able to see everything you purchase. No more privacy. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have the debt ceiling drama is on its way. And we had Janet Yellen say the U.S. could hit the debt limit within weeks. So the only thing we have to do is get the popcorn, sit back, and let it play out. We're going to see if she pulls the same thing she did in 2023. But we know Deutsche is going to start cutting government spending. And remember, Trump's job is to land us in this fourth industrial revolution where we're on a level playing field. We can no longer spend the way we've been spending because this fractional reserve lending is out the window. Real-time settlement needs plenty of liquidity. And that's the reason why we're only going to have a few banks left. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And now we have these corporations telling you you need to return to the office. And we have Phil that says it's a good way to get people to quit. And guys, well, that's definitely not true. In this economy, people are trying to hold on to their job. And the big corporations know this. That's the reason why they're telling you it's time to come back in office. They know you're not going anywhere. Now, if they had pulled this 2 or 3 years ago, yes, you had plenty of open opportunities. Now those opportunities have shrunk in the job market. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we see the push for AI, and we have China brings a low-cost chat GPT called DeepSeek AI. And in the emerging markets, we know they're going to go with the cheapest one. And it's not by chance that OpenAI came on the scene. We know Microsoft was 100% behind them, throwing billions at the company. And we saw ChatGPT take off right along with the AI agenda. But guys, remember, that's all about the fourth industrial revolution. Remember, there's moves and phases. This is a plan. And then we have Jimmy Carter, January 9th, a day of mourning. passes away at 100 years old, and the markets are going to be closed, and he's going to be the oldest living president ever. And don't forget, he lost to Reagan, who was an actor, and that loss changed the United States forever. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Hi, Joe. Well, recognize what a deep hole we're in, $36 trillion of debt. And there's no mechanism right now to control what Washington spends. The swamp works together with Congress to spend as much as possible, and whoever is president goes along with that. And so Trump, I think President Trump is trying to stop that. And so you see Doge coming in, but also yesterday he pointed out that the money was spent by the Democrats. They should be the ones to vote for the debt limit increase. That's going to be really problematic in June when the deadline comes up. And use this opportunity to rewrite and create a debt limit that actually constrains Washington so that it can't keep spending like drunken sailors. Rand Paul did that recent report, $1 trillion of waste that he identified. Biden is leaving the cupboard bare. That's where we are right now.
So I know you're pro remote work and all, hybrid work. I like people. I mean, I was just talking about how I was at the mall last week. There were all these people there. I like it when there are people at work. I think it tends to be good for younger workers to figure out how things go. I mean, is that wrong?
I like some people, John. It's not like I just hate everybody. Look, I think return to work is a fantastic way to get people to quit. And if, lots of organizations doing it, that seems to be the point. Certainly in the federal government, a few other companies, they've really hit upon this amazing way. If you want people to quit, force them back to the office. Looking forward to whatever they're going to try next, maybe mandatory dodgeball or something. But yeah, if your goal is to get rid of a bunch of employees, then a return to office mandate for people who haven't been at the office is probably an effective way to do it. If your goal is to improve the quality of work, then maybe less so, right? Maybe then I would be a little bit more intentional. I think certainly being back at the office has massive advantages in some things, like you said, massive disadvantages in other things. So I think you just have to, you have to be intentional about what parts you want remote, what parts you want in the office.
Is a new model that has all of the Valley buzzing. And it does not come from OpenAI or Meta or Google or any of those names. Deirdre Bosa, this comes from a rather unusual source.
It also comes from China, Brian. It's called DeepSeek. And here's why it matters. It took Google and OpenAI years and billions of dollars to build the latest AI large language models. But now, a Chinese research lab has built a competitive model in just 2 months with dumbed down GPUs for less than, get this, $6 million. Not billion, $6 million. Now, DeepSeek looks and acts just like ChatGPT. I've been trying it out this morning, and when I asked, what model are you? It answered, I'm an AI language model created by OpenAI, specifically based on the GPT-4 architecture, suggesting that it was trained on ChatGPT outputs, which, leaving aside terms of service violations, means that entirely new state-of-the-art models, they can be built on what is already out there. In other words, OpenAI's moat may be shrinking. If a model like DeepSeek can emerge with competitive performance, minimal cost, and reliance on existing outputs, it signals a rapidly shrinking barrier to entry in AI development, challenging the current dominance of industry leaders like OpenAI and Google and Anthropic and Meta, by the way. There's also key geopolitical implications in this for the AI race. DeepSeek is backed by a Chinese quant trading firm, High Flyer Capital Management, and it used NVIDIA H800s, a lower performance version of the H100 chips that are cheaper, more available, and tailored for restricted markets like China. So they were able to sort of go around the H100s that everyone seems to be looking for here in the West. Now, in fact, it cost DeepSeek just $5.5 million to train it versus hundreds of millions of dollars for Meta's latest Llama model and billions of dollars for GPT and Gemini models. This all raises an important question, Brian, for investors. Yeah, tributes from world leaders, they are pouring in, and we now know that Thursday, January 9th, It's going to be Carter's state funeral and a national day of mourning, so the stock exchange, NASDAQ, they will both be closed on January 9th. Now, both Biden and Trump have paid their respects to Carter.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're going to get more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.